What was that moment when you realized, well, it's official, I'm old? When I had to look up common slang terms. Yo, that's Seuss. Mood. This slaps. I love all of you. Got a senior discount at Safeway. Didn't ask for it, didn't even know it existed. I just turned 55 and apparently I'm now qualified for senior discounts. Fucking awesome. AARP started sending me applications when I turned 50. AARP literally started sending me applications when I turned 21. I have a relatively common name, but I'm still in my 30s and they've never stopped despite 4 moves. I started getting AARP stuff at 40. At 50 I started getting things from an assisted living facility. Not even, like, a mature living community or whatever euphemistic bullshit they use. I was teaching a virtual class to 2nd graders about different types of wildlife. Got to the topic of coyotes and asked the class, who has seen Looney Tunes, with Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? Only like, 3 kids knew about it TT. Presses F to pay respect F. F. Cartoons when they were good. When the classic rock station started playing Black Hole Sun. That hurt my heart. I was a TA a few years back and I had a student ask me if I knew anything about classic rock. I said yes, so he asked me what band Slash was in. I died a little inside. Velvet Revolver, kid. Now sit down. The boomer version of this joke is, what do you mean I'm too young? Just because I didn't know Paul McCartney was in a band besides Wings? I definitely understand this joke. Current top hits make no sense anymore. This is me and I'm 20. It never made sense to me. Ever. I guess not a good way to know if you old yet. Top 40 has never meant less though. If you want to avoid it, it's incredibly easy. People have access to music from all over the world these days, down to the most niche shit you've never heard of. I've been loving it for 10 plus years now, but a part of me is a bit jealous that I didn't have it when I was in my teens. They never did. I instinctively distrust teenagers, especially walking in front of my lawn. I know they don't give a shit about my lawn and probably don't notice my house at all, but no, friend, that's what they want you to believe. They are after your lawn, you should yell at them to keep away from it. You darn whippersnappers, get off my property. Lawn Care 101. Whippersnappers, no. Whippersnippers, yes. When my friends started getting pregnant on purpose, like being supportive in an excited way about friends getting pregnant was a real eye-opener. Yeah, 16 hits hard in rural Oregon. One of my best friends lives in Estacada, and you just made me LOL. The difference between rural Oregon and Portland metro area is shocking to say the least. You would never guess those two places are in the same state, let alone a few hours drive apart. Went shopping for new shoes and came out with a pair of loafers. There's probably dust on my high heels. All my new shoes have to be comfortable. I love the heck out of this. This is a plot for the next Progressive insurance ad. I wear unfashionable running shoes all the time now because if I don't I get plantar fasciitis. Got a whole closet full of cool docs, creepers, Adidas and Chucks. Don't wear any of them. Can't read small fonts in dim lighting anymore. Sucks. You ever notice the smallest print is on a bottle of eye drops? WTF. Yeah man, I used to read my Kindle on the smallest font, 1. Now I can't read it unless it's at a 4. But I'm only 27. I think I just have bad eyes. Had to stop buying mass market paperbacks because the print is too small. When the Army retired the aircraft I flew. OH-58D for those interested. On one hand you're old, on the other you flew a historical aircraft, so we're part of the history of aviation. Shit, it wasn't even that long ago, Lamau. Being part of history makes one feel even more old. Got excited about a new vacuum cleaner last week. I was very sad when a snowstorm delayed the delivery of mine a couple months ago. I couldn't wait to use it and see how much better it was than my old one. Based on the good hour of vacuum reviews I watched on YouTube. It's 2020 on a Friday night. I've been in bed watching a documentary whilst eating Pringles for an hour now. Well, that's just living the dream. I'm not mad about it. I want to be in this person's bed eating Pringles. I don't share. Complaining to the doctor about my knees hurting when I run. He said I had to respect my age. Worst part is it didn't hit me until I was driving home. BTW, I was in my 50s then. Exact same here. Got the Zrays and osteoarthritis in the knees. God damn it, running keeps me sane and slim. I'm only 30, but I took up cycling after I got a case of runner's knee. Still got many of the benefits of running, but way easier on the joints. I pulled a muscle while sleeping. I get woken up by excruciating calf cramps sometimes. My left calf is still sore from 3 days ago. One time I woke up with a calf cramp and finally went back to sleep. 2 hours later, the other one decided to contract into itself. This has happened to me before. It's so painful. It can be a sign of a mineral deficiency. Yeah, I should bring it up next time you see a doctor, if you're able. People mention minerals, but dehydration will also cause those nighttime leg cramps. I got them on hormonal birth control as well. If you can't see a doctor, try hydrating. The first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit on the classic rock station. Was at a restaurant a couple of days ago and they were playing classics like Love Shack and 500 Miles. I heard a different Nirvana song, don't recall which, over my local groceries PA system. When you realize that 2015 was 7 years ago. Know something is wrong here. This is very wrong. Nope, not going to accept it, no way. I'm mentally still in 2013. I read somewhere online that if the movie Back to the Future were set in 2022, Marty would be going back to 1992. My brain's been bugging since then. In 8 years' time, he wouldn't have even gone back to the last century. My 5th grade teacher was pregnant back in the day. I ran into her son, who was 19 years old, a few years ago. He didn't care. When you find yourself making noises of exertion just getting in and out of bed. Or your chair, off a park bench. Really just the act of standing up in general. So true. We should just never leave bed. I herniated a disc in my spine a few years back and was basically immobile for a month. Used a projector to put TV on the ceiling. I miss ceiling TV. I do this and am 16. Then it's all downhill from here, lol. When a woman was shocked that I don't use Instagram and Snapchat. At the pool my son goes ah arg. Ah arg. Ah arg. Ha ha, that's the sound dad makes. And me and my wife were both immediately horrified because it sounded a lot like the noises I make when I have sex, but when I asked him when I ever made that noise he said when you tried to swim faster than me. I mean, I'm 21 and people are shocked when I tell them I don't use social media. People at school looked at me like I had 2 heads when I told them I didn't have a smartphone, so this is not isolated to older people, thankfully. When I realized my doctor, who owns a clinic, is younger than me. That is one of my funny things too, is when the doctors are a lot younger than me. My natural inclination is to wonder if they know what they are doing. That's a good one too, but with any other kind of establishment, like I remember growing up going to the mall, a supermarket, the pharmacy, whatever, the clerks would always be these adults doing their adult jobs, and now most of the people attending look younger than me, and it just feels weird, like how can I even trust in them, lol. Same. It's even better when he says I'm a good boy for walking every day. A teen called me sir at the mall. Edit, I live in a part of the country where it's polite to call anyone, regardless of age, sir or ma'am, but typically you only say it to people outside your age group or to someone you need to be semi-formal with, a customer, a boss, etc., not a peer. This was the first time it happened due to a significant age gap. I remember when a woman at the pharmacy was just about to leave with her son, and as I entered and they turned around, she saw me and said, "Be careful, Michael, give way for the gentleman." I felt both slightly proud but also saddened, but that feeling of conflicted might be partly because I ran out of my prescriptions. I was 19 at the time. Again, I fall back on the possibility that this was some Victorian throwback. Were you wearing a suit? Also, some parents are overly polite in some places. It's weird. Whenever I went to family gatherings and the older people there would talk to me and I'd be like, "Who are you?" Well, now I've gotten to the point where I go say hi to the kids and ask them how they're doing and they look at me like I'm a complete stranger. Yes. Not to be creepy or anything, but I remember when you were born and I danced with you at your mom's wedding and I saw your preschool Christmas recital, but I guess I haven't seen you since, so I get why you don't remember me. I changed your diaper when you were this big. There are full-grown adults, alive today, who were not even born when 9/11 happened. That makes me feel old as fuck. Yeah, this one does it for me too. There are young people walking around us today who never experienced 9/11 or the 07 to 08 collapse. And when I reference these two major historical events, they ask, "What that?" I'm a millennial teacher BTW, and kids call me boomer. Also, when they tell me you're too old for that slang, when they have no idea my generation invented it and they're just our kids who inherited it. I really worry about these kids' lack of basic knowledge about the world and its history. They barely comprehend what a big deal this pandemic has been.